Welcome to Alyvix. Today we'll explore a real-world use case where the accounting department of a mid-sized company uses Alyvix to visually monitor a production environment accounting application that the entire company depends on every single day. Let's get started. Hi, I'm Charles, technical writer here at Alyvix with a question for you. Who wouldn't like their networked application performance to remain stable under load? If you have a large number of users dependent on network-based applications like accounting applications running under Microsoft's Dynamics AX, what will happen when those applications start slowing down? All those users will immediately become less productive, meaning your organization will be losing money. Applications on platforms like Dynamics AX are network-centric, so any services they run can be slowed down or even blocked by problems with the intermediate network or the remote server. When the experience your end users have degrades, problems will grow more and more costly. You need a way to find out when your users are having trouble with their applications before they become full-blown problems, so you can begin to do something about it. The simplest way to check would be to assign someone to try every aspect of each application, clicking on interfaces to reproduce his or her coworker's tasks all day long, every day. Let's call him Greg. There he is. Needless to say, this would be expensive, unbelievably boring for poor Greg, and a waste of resources. There's a different approach, though, that doesn't have these drawbacks. This approach is to use automated assessment, replacing the eyes and hands of the human tester with software that can continuously and tirelessly perform, measure, and report each individual step in all these workflows. Let's get more specific and look at a real-world use case where this automated approach is currently used to assess the performance of an accounting application on the widely used Dynamics AX platform. Consider a mid-sized company that uses Dynamics AX to coordinate all its accounting, CRM, and ERP. Accounting transactions are the lifeblood of any commercial organization. Any downtime in the IT system these applications use will quickly bring the attention of management while also hurting suppliers and customers. It's vital to restore service as soon as possible to keep the company in the black. To keep critical applications running smoothly, an automatic approach will regularly step through the most important tasks that AX users carry out, like checking on contracts and ensuring payments can be made in order to check the stability of the application's end user experience. Visual monitoring is the name of this automated approach that reproduces individual task steps by clicking on the same buttons and typing into the same text fields that users do. At each step, when the GUI responds, the elapsed time between the action and the GUI response is recorded. This approach is especially suited to streamed and closed-source applications like those on Dynamics AX because it doesn't require programmatic access, just the standard user interface. So for instance, in a Dynamics AX accounting application, an end-user task like filling in an invoice as shown here would include steps to create a new invoice, to fill in details, and then to click on the Submit button. Then the elapsed time is from when the button is clicked until the window pops up with the results. Alyvix is a visual monitoring system for any Windows application, including Dynamics AX. Alyvix has tools for replicating end-user workflows, and then automatically running them at regular intervals, recording how long an end user would have to wait for each step in the script. It also creates reports that can certify application performance to third parties. On an important business task like maintaining payment schedules, you use Alyvix to define each step within the interface, then rerun those steps with an Alyvix bot, which uses Dynamics AX in its application interface as if it were a real end user over RDC. So what does it look like when Alyvix runs a bot on an interface like a Dynamics AX application over RDC? Just like a person, it logs in, clicks on buttons or controls, types text in fields and boxes, and then logs out. After each interaction with the interface, it records how much time was needed for the application to respond with the next stage of the interface, and captures a screenshot. The robot runs like this automatically, repeating the same test each time at the interval that you set. You can visualize the timing data from these runs in a stacked dot chart, where each point represents one step of one specific run, and where the distance from one dot to the next higher dot corresponds to the amount of time that UI step took to complete. When a second run is executed, the timing data for its steps is also recorded. As the bot runs more and more task workflows, you can see both the recent workflow performance to find out if the application is slow or not, and also compare it to prior performance results to see how performance is trending over time. In fact, once you've run the workflows long enough, you can visually inspect the continuously recorded data to quickly note when the application was down, see whether the user experience is improving or degrading over time, and even gather data to help you decide proactively how to optimize system resources, allowing you to save money by using the least amount of resources necessary to maintain your user experience standards. When looking for the causes of problems, it's extremely helpful to be able to interactively visualize historic application performance data. Here's 3 months worth of data from a real-world accounting application in 2 interactive graphs. The overview graph on top combines latency and availability, where each column represents the cumulative speed of a particular work task run every 4 minutes, while the graph below shows individual step completion times of that task with a different color for each separate step. When the company's IT department sees a series of high values in the upper graph corresponding to application response times exceeding the desired standard, system admins can drill down to the exact time period when those values began to occur in order to find the root cause. For instance, if a bot checking vendor contact information makes a database request as part of its interaction sequence, and the database at that moment is slow because of networking issues, then the specific task step using the database will be immediately visible in the graph just due to its color. If instead the timing results are significantly high, setting alerts or notifications allows you to intervene immediately when users begin experiencing problems, even if they don't show up yet on other monitored objective metrics like disk space or VM availability. Expanding the performance graph below and zooming in to the measurements of individual steps allows you to pinpoint which transitions slow down and when. You can see when daily performance peaks occur, so you can plan changes ahead of time, and you can even see when administrator interventions return applications to their expected performance. The reports that Alyvix server produces serve as permanent records which can certify actual availability and performance over time. They show the total amount of time taken, whether the run as a whole was successful or not, and provide detail on the individual steps. For each step, the report shows its individual timing measurements and screenshots, indicating what was seen at each moment. In particular, it shows what the end user would have experienced when an application was suffering slowdowns or not working at all. If our company uses Dynamics AX as a remote service under a service level agreement, a report with both timing details and screenshots can serve as proof that the SLA is not in compliance. Obviously, most of your reports will show that everything is working fine. But when it's not, it's easy to use Alyvix to find the point in the task flow where things went wrong. Each step records both the actual screen itself, along with that screen annotated to show what Alyvix was looking for but couldn't find. By showing failed steps in red, all you need is a bit of scrolling to find the problem. As a visual monitoring system, Alyvix navigates through remote applications on platforms like Dynamics AX, executing tasks using the same graphical interface that an end user sees. As each task is performed, Alyvix automatically and continuously assesses application responsiveness, recording the time for each transaction in the workflow, and saving screenshots for use in later troubleshooting. Beyond increases in productivity and profitability because your end users won't have to wait to continue their work, Alyvix can also help you optimize your infrastructure by seeing slowdown trends, testing changes to interfaces in real time, retaining multi-tenant customers who depend on your infrastructure, and allowing you to audit your SLAs. No more excuses like they said response time would be under a second. You'll have proof if it was significantly worse. Thanks for watching this Alyvix video. Be sure to check out the Alyvix website, blog, and user guide at these links. And don't forget, you can also like, comment on, and subscribe to our YouTube channel to be notified about new videos.